Good day, unfortunate viewer of this video, and welcome. You might be asking yourself, why did we suddenly go from Chalanga Law to this? Well, it's a slightly complicated story, so allow me to start at the very beginning. Yesterday, well, several days, depending on how long it takes for Andrew to make this fucking video, we were just talking on the social media that was used by pedophiles and groomers, I'm sorry, Discord, and Andrew kind of just came up with an idea out of nowhere. That being, what if we made a Rant video? And to that, my hyper-autistic brain flared up. Immediately, I was racing with ideas. What kind of possible rants could I make? Maybe politics. Maybe about Twitter. Maybe about the world in general. But then, I came up with a brilliant idea. That being, make a Reddit rant. Because, let's be honest, the vast majority of us probably are sick and tired of Reddit. And thus, we are here. Well, I would also like to make a few things clear before we get into this video. One, it is going to probably be very excessively long. So if you have the attention span of a TikTok user or a goldfish, then I advise you to get out while you still can. Two, Andrew will not be talking. I am holding him hostage by pointing a Glock at his head so that he will edit this video for me. This is your final warning. If you leave, I will shoot. And, of course, to appease the algorithm, no Redditors were harmed, harassed, doxxed, and bullied in this video. And, unfortunately, no British people were harmed either. Even though I would like both of these things to be quite the contrary. Something, something, copyright, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Remember, unsubscribe, dislike the video, turn off notifications, and only leave hate comments telling me to kill myself and dip my balls in sulfuric acid. Why? Because I think it's funny, that's why. Alright, now, let us talk. There have been plenty of social medias over the years, and pretty much almost every single one at some point in time has been called the worst of the worst. Oh, TikTok is the worst of the worst. Oh, Twitter is a toxic shithole and it's radioactive, like it makes Chernobyl's elephant foot look tame. Ooh, fucking Instagram. Who cares about Instagram? I don't even fucking hear anything about that. Oh, Facebook well, Facebook. What did you really expect from Facebook? Oh no, Discord's full of groomers and pedos. But in my opinion, all of these are mute. Complete and total garbage in comparison to the main threat. Well, threat, more like heaping pile of shit. I think that's a more accurate description. But still, all these people saying my social media is the worst, this social media is the worst, this and that, and YouTube is shit, and Twitch is shit, all irrelevant. For there is only one that I see as the worst of the worst. That being Reddit. This, well, should I call it a forum? Or social media? I'm just gonna call it the social media. I think that'd be better off. This social media is, in my personal opinion, the worst of the worst. And I don't think Twitter even comes to the same level of dog shit as Reddit. And I don't think it will ever be as bad as Reddit. Because say what you want about Twitter.com, at least Twitter has some level of freedom of speech. I mean, sure, you're not allowed to say literally everything on it, but yeah, it does have at least some level of freedom of speech. And as we all know, freedom of speech works both ways. Both the intelligent and the wise get to speak, while also the stupid and the manipulative cunts also get to speak. Unfortunately. Thus, here we are. I invite you all to grab a drink, as obviously, as I've already stated, this is going to be a long-ass video. And I'd also like to mention, there's no script. There's only this one piece of paper that's possibly covered in semen that has a very vague set of steps on what I should be talking about. The reason I've made this so vague as possible is to, well, make it as chaotic as possible. I don't need scripts, I don't like scripts, and thus, I won't use any. So, if you are not willing to listen to a relatively unscripted rant, then get out while you still can. And with that, let us actually begin. Right, now the most difficult part, of course, is where do we even begin? Like, honest to God, Reddit is a huge social media, and there's lots of people on it. Well, we'll start with a few little tidbits here and there. Now, I might be wondering, where do we even begin? Like, there's so much to Reddit. And you'll be right. Thus, I've decided to start off with a few nitbits in it. Just a few little pieces of Reddit that I just do not like that very much. You see, Reddit tends to be pretty fucking degenerate. But we'll get to the bad shit eventually. Some of the smallest stuff is like, you know, lying about their profession. You might have seen this, actually, over the years. You might have seen certain Redditors say, oh yeah, I'm a doctor. Oh yeah, I'm a lawyer. Oh yeah, I'm an expert at whatever it is I'm talking about. And then they proceed to spout nonsense or half-truths that probably are not exactly gained from their so-called expertise. To this, I simply say they're probably lying. You might possibly find it weird that this is even a thing. Why would they ever possibly lie about their professions? Well, Reddit karma and upvotes. Now, of course, I would just go immediately into a rant upon the issue of Reddit's upvotes and karma, but we'll get there as time goes on. For now, we'll just have to start at the basics. Shit. Starting at the basic shit, we have to explain the media consumption of Reddit. How does Reddit actually consume media? And what kind of media do they consume? It's one of the most important parts. Social media, of course. What kind of media do they discuss? Well, it's not exactly a good answer. Any kind of social media platform and content platform will have their own forms of interests in terms of what kind of media they like, how they like it, and what way they consume it. For instance, 4chan is a lot more pointed towards niche entertainment media. You know, 4chan users might like BattleTech more than something more mainstream, as 4chan always tends to call the people who enjoy the mainstream normal fags, or of course before, normies. Though, ironically enough, the word normie has been adopted by Redditors and spammed to hell and back. But we'll get to that. You see, 4chan is very far away from the norm. They've always been that. They always enjoy being not normal in terms of what media they consume compared to the rest. But Reddit is the exact opposite. Reddit tends to be the consumption of mass-produced media. And I'll just point out a few examples. The first, you know, a series, then a movie, and then a video game. First that I can think of is Rick and Morty. Now, we all know where this is going. Season 1 or 2 of Rick and Morty were pretty good. But then Season 3 came out. Well, I can only describe Season 3 as troubled yet also gifted. But it spelled doom for franchise, or I guess series, not really a franchise, but whatever, because of shit like Pickle Rick. Now the problem with Pickle Rick, and of course a few other pieces of shit, is that Reddit got a hold of it and spammed the ever-loving shit out of it. Like, it got so bad, it made Rickrolls look tame with how many times they tried to shove that shit down your throat back when it was popular. And of course, this drove people absolutely mad. Pickle Rick was on backpacks, he was on lunchboxes, he was on cups, he was probably on your mom's dildo. Fuck if I know where he was on. Either way, he was everywhere. And it drove people nuts. And of course, that's not the only thing that Rick and Morty it caused. You see, the fandom had gotten a hold of Rick and Morty since Season 3. Reddit had latched upon Rick and Morty like a fucking tumor, and ever since then, it's been going downhill. Another good example is the Szechuan sauce incident. To give you an idea of what Szechuan sauce is, it was a sauce produced by McDonald's to sponsor the Mulan movie made by Disney, not the reboot, but of course the original. And apparently, Szechuan sauce was really fucking good. Now, I can't say if that's actually the case or not, but it probably is. Knowing McDonald's, that just means that they pumped 10 liters of radioactive waste into their nearest Szechuan sauce deposit. But still, of course, this got out of hand, as the show made a joke about it back in Season 1. And of course, they made the same joke again in Season 3, albeit slightly different. Of course, Problem with that is that Reddit, for one reason or another, took this joke way too far. As in, you all at this point know the infamous, infamous clip where someone had a spastic brain fart moment at the McDonald's, putting their shirt over their head and going, "Ree, I'm Pickle Reek, Reek." You know, that fucking shit. We all know that. And I'm baffled and I'm confused at what this spaz was doing. What was it, a shit post? Was this like mocking Rick and Morty? Was this someone seriously actually having such a spastic shit moment? Who fucking knows? And then, of course, we have the infamous copy pasta of, "To be fair, you need to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty." And, oh my god, is it just as retarded? Now, the main reason why is, I mean, come on, look at it. Just gaze upon it. Does this look like a message that a normal functioning human being would write down? And second of all, I do not think I need to tell you that Rick and Morty is not really that much of an intelligent show. I mean, yeah, sure. Season 1 and 2 did have their intelligent moments here and there, but to act like it's some fucking genius, amazing masterpiece is like just no. No. I think Rick and Morty perfectly describes how arrogant and up its own ass Reddit tends to be because there's no intelligence in it, at least not to the level that you're constantly hyping it up. And of course, Rick and Morty is also very mainstream. I wouldn't exactly call it a very niche thing. I mean, for fuck's sakes, if you're seeing Pickle Rick on some random ass kid's backpack, like, I shit you not, there's a kid that lives across the street, and I saw that little shit with a fucking Pickle Rick on his backpack. I'm telling you, the next time I see him, I'm snapping his neck. But no, no, but seriously, it's not exactly niche. It's very mainstream, and this is what you'll notice with the majority of Reddit when it comes to media consumption. They're always after the mainstream. Now, of course, we need to get into movies. What kind of mainstream movies does Reddit constantly consume at a rapid pace? Well, for the longest time now, it's been the Avengers, Marvel. Oh, my superheroes. Oh my god, guys. The CGI good guy beat the CGI bad guy. Oh, it's so exciting. You know, that shit. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a few Marvel movies here and there. Fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. But I don't think we need to mention to you that recently Marvel hasn't exactly been in a very good place. Well, I would say something about She-Hulk here, but I think that's been dried up pretty damn heavily now. So let's not. But yeah, Reddit constantly clings to the superhero movies of Marvels, and it's pretty fucking irritating, as they've been doing it for a very long time. But then, of course, we also gotta get to the video games. Ooh. There's two things that I think of when I think of Reddit and video games. I'm talking about fucking Nintendo and Fallout New Vegas. Christ almighty. Alright. Now, with Nintendo, I have nothing against people who are fans of Nintendo. And, like, don't get me wrong, I've had a very good childhood in terms of Nintendo games, fond memories. But I will not deny the fact that that's my childhood. That is the past. I have different interests and I move on. Apparently, Redditors find it extremely fucking hard to grow out of their childhood and just, be an adult, as you've seen the infamous video probably of some soy cuck looking ass with his Nintendo Switch dancing around like the pathetic scrawny piece of shit that he is. And it's a perfect example of the general assumption of what Reddit Nintendo fags are going to look like. It's pretty damn apparent. And I also just want to mention that for some reason or another, Nintendo fans are just fucking unhinged in terms of their consume levels. Like, if they're not consuming the next product Nintendo has put out, they're just always saying to themselves, Don't listen to criticism, always consume product. Nintendo could fucking destroy some other fan project again for the 10 billionth time, or pull some scuffed piece of shit move, and all they'll do is just put their fingers in their ears and go la 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 la, I cannot hear you. And of course, well, that's not the only part, because what Nintendo tends to do is immediately after some major controversy announce some new random minute shit that under normal circumstances no one would really give a shit about, but Nintendo was like, oh, here's this game that's coming to the Switch no one gives a shit about. And then Nintendo fans are all gonna be, oh my god, consume! And of course, a lot of Nintendo fans tend to be Reddit fags. Now, I'm not saying every single one of them is, but it wouldn't surprise me if a very large majority of them probably was. And, yeah. Oh, and then there's of course Fallout New Vegas. Now, Fallout New Vegas is a 10-year-old game. Well, it's at least over 10 years old now. And of course, what you'll generally hear is New Vegas is the best Fallout game of all time. No, it's actually the best game in general of all time. It is the best game for all of eternity across the multiverse. And I find that an extreme over exaggeration. Like, yeah, in terms of quote unquote modern Fallout games from Fallout 3 all the way to Fallout 76, it is the best compared to the others. Fallout 3 is a fucking Fallout 3, I don't like it. Fallout 4 is just a fucking snooze fest without mods, and Fallout 76 is just dumb semi-broken fun. But Fallout New Vegas is very close to Fallout 1 and 2 in terms of how original it feels. But to pretend like it's the best thing ever as if it's Jesus Christ on a stick is a bit over exaggerating. It's not the greatest game of all fucking time, guys. Come on. No need to over exaggerate this shit. But of course, they have to be as spastic about their love for Fallout New Vegas as possible. So, naturally, you get shit like Schizo Elijah. Or, of course, the constant LARPing for the Legion. Now, of course, if you've played Fallout New Vegas, you'll know that the Legion is a faction in that game, and Reddit fags love the Legion nowadays. They're constantly cocksucking the Legion, day in, day out. Oh, yeah, the Legion. Oh, based. Legion based, based, based. And then, of course, then there you have Schizo Elijah, which he's the first of his kind, I guess, to make the Schizo Legion memes, which basically just boils down to, oh, guys, don't forget the black sun, the spinning black sun, and Caesar's Legion logos. Oh, don't forget to put the trap music in the background as you start bludgeoning NCR soldiers to death. If you want a good example of a very good shitpost video that breaks down what's wrong with Schizo Elijah, I recommend Silver Fox's video, cause that shit's golden. And like how to make a Schizo Elijah video, masterpiece. And of course, knowing Reddit, they immediately proceeded to pick up this joke and spam, spam, spam. Now there are a shitload of content creators that are just like Schizo Elijah. Oh wow, it's almost like the New Vegas community is entirely infested by Reddit fags. Yippee-ki fucking yay, motherfucker. Now, then of course we get the Legion LARPing, which is basically just devolves down into who Redditors constantly LARPing about the Legion, how the Legion is based. Oh, the Legion is based. Based. Haste. And it's just, I mean, come on, guys. It's a fictional faction in a video game. Who fucking cares? It's a fictional faction in a fictional universe in a video game. Uh, yeah, it's also political satire. I guess Andrew suddenly ripped the tape off of his mouth as I'm holding him hostage. Don't worry, guys. I'll shoot him in the nuts later. But but yeah, it's satire. It's supposed to be satire, but I guess Redditors just didn't pick up on that. And then of course there's the fact that you know whenever you talk about Fallout, make sure to not say that you prefer any Fallout game over New Vegas, because then you'll get quit having fun. Only play New Vegas. Legion is the best faction. You cannot enjoy the NCR. That constant bitching and bitching and bitching. It's just a fucking game. Who cares? Who cares? It's just a fucking game. And then, like, this is the perfect example of what's wrong with Reddit and media. Like, they take this shit so fucking seriously in one way or another. It's so embarrassing. Like, well, what's the point? Why do you do it? Why? Speaking of media, let's talk about their memes and humor next, because that's even worse. Now, of course, every community has their own memes, their own inside jokes, and their own humor. I don't think I need to describe this to you. And let me tell you this, I would probably laugh more if I looked at Facebook memes than at Reddit memes. Because, Jesus Christ. Now, the problem here with memes on Reddit is that, first of all, they tend to be stolen, and, of course, they are spammed to absolute death. The perfect three examples that I can think of are Big Chungus, Keanu Reeves, and Wholesome 100. These are the first things that come to mind because they've been spammed so fucking hard. It is unbelievable just how hard they spam that shit. Basically, when Keanu Reeves a few years ago said, "You're breathtaking," and then the whole internet went, "Ha ha ha ha, that's funny." Everyone laughed, everyone joked, everyone made memes about him for a few months, and then, of course, as per usual, the meme died down in a few months, as memes nowadays generally only tend to last for a few months. But Reddit, being Reddit, didn't fucking stop there. They went on, and on, and on, and on, and on, and on. And well, I'm not sure if they are still using Keanu Reeves, but I'm more than willing to say that they finally stopped, probably. But it shows exactly what's wrong with their humor. You can't just repeat the same knock knock joke 10 billion times over and expect it to be funny. What are you, a 5-year-old toddler? You're a grown ass man. Make your own joke. Oh, speaking of making your own joke, that's something they also lack. You see, for some reason, they just refuse to make their own jokes. They either have to stick to the ones they already have, or they have to steal new ones. Oh, and don't forget to mention the fact that their jokes can't be edgy either, because then you won't get those sweet upvotes. You won't get the Reddit's gamma, which is also something they desperately crave as if it's fucking crystal meth. Like, why are you acting like such a fucking crack junkie over just some fucking orange arrow pointing up? Who cares? It's just an arbitrary number. It means nothing to your real life. But anyway, we'll get to the upvote soon enough. We'll get to that shit. But yeah, there have been plenty of times where Reddit just infiltrates some random ass community. Some fucking Reddit fag goes into a community, takes their memes, and then posts them on Reddit saying, "Hey guys, look at this meme I made." Clearly they fucking didn't, but that's how that shit works. Why? Well, updates. Yes, a sweet upvotes. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. That's the reason that I can think of, at least. Now, sure, some do it because they're just not fucking original enough to come up with their own jokes, because that's the kind of shit we're dealing with here on Reddit. But a lot of the time, it's just done for upvotes. Constantly, always for upvotes. Like, the sheer length some of these people will go to for upvotes surprises me a bit. It's like, just why? But all these nitpicks, these problems, are nothing compared to what I'm about to talk about next. But before that, allow me to make a very clear message here. Not every Redditor is some fucking mass media consuming faggot. Alright? Not every single one of them is such a dipshit. There are, of course, a lot of Redditors that probably are very normal people like you and me. I know that's very obvious. But I'm going to say this right now before you people just start fucking harassing and doxing some random ass Redditor for daring to have a Reddit account, even though he was a pretty normal guy. Like, I know inevitably some fucking idiot's gonna do that, so I'm just gonna have to say that right now before this shit spirals out of control. But anyway, if there is something that I know for sure, it's two things. One, Reddit tends to be filled with virgins, and two, Reddit is excessively horny all the fucking time. If there would be a good example I could give you here, it's the following. You see, Reddit, of course, has this system where for every niche topic that you could possibly imagine, there's going to be a subreddit, as someone is inevitably going to make a subreddit. So, for instance, fucking Battletech. Most of you don't know what Battletech is. There's probably going to be a subreddit of a few hundred people talking about it at somewhere, alright? Pretty based if you do know what Battletech is, by the way. But, unfortunately, this also applies to sexual fetishes and well, niche things. In fact, on Reddit, it's surprisingly easy to find very specific sexual fetishes, especially compared to Twitter or Tumblr or shit like that. So let's just go right into the meat here. This list is how many Reddit subreddits had incest. 43 results. 40 fucking free from this one search alone, and we had a fucking huge amount. A monstrous amount. There's all sorts of weird shit you can find here. Like we got r/incest gifts, r/incest porn, r/twin girls, r/free use family, r/incest wincest, incest gifts, mom son incest, incest comics, amateur incest club, mother daughter, incest confessions, son mom, taboo fans, loving family, incest snaps, incest captions, dirty family photos, cousin fuckers. That was funny for some fucking reason. Mother-son incest, gift-cest, incest videos, incest sex stories, family game, taboo captions, incest doujinshi, incest green pies, inbreeding, brother-sister secrets, black incest, mom and son incest, growing the family, mommy dom, incest captions, family sex, hentai incest, furry incest, mommy and son, black incest stories, and wincest text. Jesus fucking Christ. That was kind of fucked. And there's even, like, fucking rimming. Oh, God. That is just incest alone, by the way. And it's a lot more than incest, by the way. I mean, this is just a fucked up category no matter how you spell it. I mean, come on. I don't think we need to describe to you what incest is or why it's fucked. But it's a lot more fucked than that, because when you think about it, this is a relatively mild fucked up fetish. Alright, this is mild compared to some of the shit that could be out there.
Sorry to interrupt Factual's rant. I'm putting this in while I'm editing his video. But next section of the video is discussing Reddit's prominent CP problem. A problem I'm pretty sure most people who hate Reddit already know about. But I have to give a bit of context for the upcoming piece of the rant. The particular subreddit that will not be mentioned by name but is mentioned a bit further in this rant is something a friend actually told me about. To be more specific, he does indeed use Reddit, and discovered it because he was actively trying to catch pedophiles and put them in prison. Well, he used to catch pedophiles. That was until one of them somehow figured out who he was, where he lived, and that resulted in an incident that I cannot go into further detail about because it would actually put him at risk again. And why he told me about it is actually pretty simple. He found out we were planning to make a rant about Reddit and told me about it, so I decided to tell Factual about it so he could mention it in the video. Because it's a pretty good example of why Reddit is full of fucking degenerates. And with that context now aired out, I will let Factual Hat continue his rant.
There is CP on Reddit. Child pizza, if you know what I mean. We know of that shit. There was a cuties porn subreddit. And cuties, well, I think you know what cuties is, but if you don't, it was a softcore CP film, basically. Oh, sure, the director might be like, no, it's woman empowerment, but we all know it was fucking CP. Alright, we all know it. Alright, Biden was stroking his fucking cock while watching this shit, and so was his son. Alright, we all know it. We all know it. Don't deny that shit, okay? That's like the bottom of the barrel in terms of how fucked it gets, alright? We're dealing with fucking CP. So just imagine, we could possibly have all kinds of fucked up shit. We could have fucking rape, fucking gore. We could have all sorts of fucked up shit. In fact, I know for a fact that gore was a thing and rape as well. That was without a doubt probably a thing. It just goes to show you how fucking sexually degenerate Reddit is. But I'm also willing to say that there's a surprising amount of them that I could definitely describe as incels. Now I don't like to use the word incels, of course, because it's usually associated with dumb fucking shit like Gamergate. Ugh. But like the amount of times that you might have encountered Redditors making some really fucking dumb shit, like ladies of Reddit. What would make you want to have sex with a overweight guy who plays video games? Like, bro, we fucking know that you are trying to get laid, and you can't get fucking laid. Even a fucking hooker wouldn't want to have sex with you if you fucking paid him. Like, we all know at this point in time, we all know you're a degenerate. Please stop. Get some help. Of course, they're not gonna do it, but it's a nice attempt. Now, of course, after that disgusting shit, I would like to throw some mouthwash into the mix and talk about something a little less disgusting. All right? I'm still traumatized about that furry incest. Jesus. That being upvotes and karma. Now, I think you all know how upvotes and karma works on Reddit, but in case you don't, simply put, if someone upvotes your shit, it gets bumped up a little bit higher into the Reddit board, and you get 1 karma per upvote. Karma, I guess, could be seen as a method of trust and how old your account is. It's something akin to checking a Steam profile, and you put more trust into them if they're level 10 or 20 than if there's some random account that is completely barren, because chances are that's a scam burner. But in this case, upvotes and karma are no longer for trust. Instead, it has become an obsession, like how a crack addict will constantly chase after his next high of cocaine. In this case, Redditors are constantly going out of their way to desperately grind and grind and grind for upvotes and karma. Why? I don't fucking know. It's sad. But yeah. Also, there's obviously such a thing as downvoting. This means, if I'm right, that if you get downvoted enough and you start going into the minus, then your shit is inevitably going to get pushed down and down and down, deeper and deeper into the board, making it harder for people to find what you posted. Basically, it's a form of censorship. Although this is a very light form of censorship compared to some of the other shit that they throw at you. But I digress. Of course, I don't understand, and I probably never will, why they so desperately crave the fucking karma, but whatever. And of course, the Redditors themselves are not the only fucking problem, because then, of course, we got the Reddit moderators. Now, the Reddit moderators are very self-explanatory. These are people who've been chosen to moderate the subreddits of Reddit and to make sure that everything is squeaky clean, or at least somewhat squeaky clean. Of course, it's not exactly squeaky clean when you have fucking incest as one of the main categories on your NSFWs, but, apparently Redditors understand more of what a sexo is than how to actually talk with women. But, Reddit moderators, I would more than willing to say, are some of the most sad, insignificant, pathetic human beings upon this planet. Genuinely. I do not think it gets more pathetic than this. Because did you know that the top 100 Reddit boards, the top 100 subreddits, are controlled by a handful of moderators? Let that sink in. There is a handful of people that spend all day long, all fucking day, behind their computer, moderating these subreddits all fucking day. And that's all they fucking do. Why? I don't know. Do they make a living off of it? they probably managed to find a way to do so, knowing some like somewhat illegal sponsorships. But yeah, it's that is sad. It is genuinely sad and pathetic and disgusting. But it doesn't end there, because obviously there needs to be an answer to why they do it. And the reason I can imagine is because of this fake sense of power and control that they get. And of course, knowing how sad and pathetic they are, they let this fake power go to their head, and they go completely fucking cuckoo crazy. Now, this just inevitably turns into Reddit mods abusing their power and just doing whatever the fuck they want. And it's very common for them to abuse their power in case they don't like someone. It's actually extremely common. I don't really have anything positive to say about moderators. Of course, there are a few moderators that I can imagine are just normal people that just do it for fun. But it's just so sad. It's so pathetic. It's just so. Really? This is what you choose to make your life's legacy. This is what you choose to honor your ancestors with. This is what you fucking choose to do that with. By fucking moderating a bunch of subreddits and being a bitchy, whiny little shit that abuses his powers? Really? You sit there on your fucking chair, you fat ass, eating nothing but Doritos and fucking, I don't know, drinking guacamole Gamer Fart 9000, whatever the fuck. It's a fucking Mountain Dew and Red Bull shit. That's the only shit you drink. Like, it's just, why upon God's green earth would you do this to yourself? Why? And then, of course, it bothers me. Like, I can't possibly imagine why someone would choose to do this to themselves. But anyway, now I think it is time for me to talk about a few subreddits that I personally want to mention. The first one being r slash hate for landlords. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory. Now I won't lie, there are definitely a few landlords out there that are just genuine, greedy, evil pieces of fucking shit. But the vast majority of them are normal people like you and me. And of course, what was first a subreddit about hating landlords, just like always, quickly spiraled out of control into something much more extreme and ridiculous. That being, and basically turned into communism and I don't want to work. I just want communism, so I don't have to work a day in my life. I'm not lazy. I'm just a communist. And of course, I can't mention r slash for landlords without mentioning love for landlords. You see, 4chan, I think it was 4chan anyway, decided it would be extremely funny if they were to, maybe just so possibly mock hate for landlords by making the complete opposite, love for landlords, and romanticize the abusive, greedy, evil landlord into an icon. Now, of course, they didn't actually love abusive landlords. They just knew this shit would piss Redditors the fuck off, and it did, because they're that predictable. They were so pissed off, in fact, they went out of their way to try and get r slash love for landlords removed, and I'm pretty sure it even succeeded. Which just shows you how easy it is. Not only to get them to pop a vein, but also to just piss them off so easily. They're just so fucking predictable. It's pretty fucking hilarious, actually, now that I think about it. And then we also have r slash drug subs. Now, no, that's not an actual sub, but just general Reddit's drug subs. The main one at least. They only generally talk about things like marijuana and other hallucinogenics, but of course, again, it kind of just spiraled out of control. It's surprisingly enough a bad thing for them at least that you go clean or that you mention the negative side effects of drugs. They'll try their absolute best to get people to not go clean and shit like that. It's confusing. In case you like to know more about these two, actually about all three, but I'm gonna mention the third one in more detail. I advise you to check out Ghost Gum's videos about both hate for landlords and the drug subreddit. I highly advise that. Good shit. It talks about that more in detail, and in detail that I really cannot talk about right now because then it'd be way too fucking long. Anyway, now it's time to talk about the very big elephant in the room. R slash atheist. Now, I think you all know what an atheist is. I don't think I need to explain it to you. If I do need to explain to you what an atheist is, then bazinga, shut the fuck up. Up, shut up, and shove a pipe bomb up your ass or something. I don't. I just. But yeah, r slash atheist of course started off normal as per usual, and of course it was fine at first. You know, it was just atheists that wanted to come together on a subreddit and just talk about atheism. But of course, they started taking themselves a bit too seriously. All of a sudden, they were looking upon themselves with such grandeur, as if they were the new Marcus Aureliuses, the geniuses of the modern times that knew how every single facet of the world was put together, and the fact that all these religious fools were, of course, incorrect and wrong. Of course, that was just a complete total guess. I mean, how would you fucking prove if God is real or not? But it was enough for them to do it anyway. They would constantly fucking bitch and whine about religious people every single time they hear Merry Christmas, and then proceed to pop a fucking vein and go spaz mode. Yes, seriously, they actually bitch and whine every single Christmas about having to hear Merry Christmas because Jesus Christ isn't real. Like, it's just, what the fuck? Are you really gonna bitch about something so tiny? Like, come on. Like, who fucking cares? Like, what do you want people to say? As like, what do you even say to them? Like, happy holidays? Even that might just pop a vein. But yeah, they would constantly pretend like they were the absolute geniuses of the world, the absolute fucking geniuses of the planet. Some religious person shows up on some random subreddit they found. They proceed to clack their fucking keyboards at high speed and just start fucking rambling. And of course, we all know where r slash atheism ended up. It ended up making all of atheism look like a complete and total joke. Do you want to know where the fat, ugly ass tub of lard with a top, like a fucking fedora on his head, tipping it and saying "Milady" comes from? You wonder where the whole "tips fedora, Milady" comes from? Yeah, chances are it came from r slash atheism. So yeah, atheism was basically made a complete and total fucking joke by Reddit. Ironic. You know, it just confuses me how not only do they see themselves as, you know, the geniuses of the planet that just know everything, but also to just go out of their way to make it everyone else's problem. You know, I don't give a shit if you're atheist. That's fine by me. But don't make it everyone else's fucking problem. Don't go out of your way to go like, why are you Christian? Don't you know that God is not real? Science is the answer, baby. You know, it's just, no. Stop it. Let people have their own opinions, please. Like, if you want to look at the world with that perspective, that's fine by me. But let people have other ideas on what is out there, right? Just shut the fuck up. But that's not the only thing they're biased about the worldview. No, they're also going to be biased about politics, because of fucking course they be. Now, politics nowadays basically just devolves into, he has vanilla ice cream and not chocolate. That level of whiny shit that no one really should give a shit about in any way whatsoever, but they do anyway. Yeah, that's Reddit as well. You know. Now, if you go to some of the top subreddits for politics, mainly just r slash politics, no shit, you will obviously only encounter something of a very specific side. You will notice something very odd. On the vast majority of political subreddits, there's only left-wing opinions. Huh. Now I fucking wonder why that is the goddamn case. You just guess. You just guess. You just throw the fucking ball up in the air and possibly make a suggestion. Alright? Let's make this a trivia question, shall we? Fucking, what do you think it's gonna be? A, it's only left leaning because democracy and people only care about left leaning politics, or B, fucking censorship everywhere, and for some reason a genuine hatred for right-wing political sides. And, of course, C, which is, of course, grill. If you've picked C, you are unfortunately not correct. If you picked A, well, your heart is in the right place, but unfortunately, democracy tends to be retarded because the people are retarded. In this case, it's B. It's lots and lots of censorship. Yeah, unsurprisingly, right wing opinions on Twitter are just completely and utterly shut out. They're just not allowed. And this is something you'll see with a lot of things, not just politics, but literally almost anything on Reddit. You'll see this with like how to fucking make tea. If you say the wrong thing, if you say something that'll piss them off, you say something that's outside of the bubble, and these fuckers will go ape shit. All right, you kicked the wasp hive, and they're ready to sting you to death. It's just, it's so confusing, as per usual. But what you also notice, and it's very interesting, is the Chinese propaganda that is on there as well. Yeah, there's lots of CCP propaganda on there, and you really shouldn't be surprised. It's lots of communism, it's lots of this and that. Oh, we're so woke. Oh, we're so this. Oh, woe is me. Fucking woe is me. Who cares? And it's just like, where, where are we going when there's only one political opinion allowed here? Now, I don't need to mention to you that the whole point of politics is to let all sides debate, and for this debate to be professional. Now, of course, that's no longer the case across the entirety of the planet. Nowadays, politics just involves two toddlers screaming at each other and hoping that one toddler will get more pieces of paper that have a doodle scribbled on them that says, "I like this guy more than the other." It's just, yeah, that's politics, baby. I mean, but you'll see this kind of sheep-like herd mentality all over the fucking place. It's everywhere on Reddit. Like, it doesn't matter what subreddit you go to. If it's a meme subreddit, oh, I'm gonna check out my memes. And then you just get this sheep like herd behavior. Always follow the group, don't question. And it's you can't help but just laugh. You can't help but find it genuinely pathetic. I mean, look at this shit. You really are so fucking sad that not only are you going to kick all right-wing opinions off of your left-leaning subreddits, but if these right-leaning people then make their own right-leaning subreddit, you then make a bunch of alt burner accounts, spam that subreddit full of heinous, disgusting shit, and then say, "Whoa, guys, this right-wing subreddit is posting extreme racist Nazi stuff. We need to ban them." Yeah, those horrible racist posts were totally not made by you. That's the lengths that they'll go to make sure that different political opinions are just non-existent. What, you think I'm kidding about the whole fucking banning of right-leaning subreddits? I'm fucking not. They legitimately did this. I'm pretty sure I did this multiple times. Not just with political subreddits, but with multiple kinds of subreddits. They were so fucking petty. So petty. They genuinely threw their fists up in the air and said, "Fuck it." As they proceeded to just make burner accounts and just spam that subreddit full of disgusting shit to get them banned. This is the kind of degeneracy we're working with here. It's sad. It's genuinely sad. Now, of course, the censorship. We gotta go and talk about the censorship too, because that is something I just can't fucking allow to exist. Alright? To give you an example of just how fucking bad it gets, about 30%, or at least roughly 1/3 of all Reddit posts have been deleted at some point in time, or altered or censored. Think about that. Literally almost 1/3 of all messages that have ever existed upon Reddit have been, in some way or form, censored. This shit makes Twitter.com look tame in comparison with how much you get censored on Reddit. It is not a fucking joke, right? This is usually because moderators, of course, get to censor whoever they want. So naturally, moderators tend to only censor those that they don't like. Obviously, I mean, what are you gonna stop them? No, you can't do anything against it. You can't do anything. And so this kind of censorship is something you'll very clearly see all over the damn place. You can't go anywhere on Reddit without seeing some form of censorship. It's what makes it so much worse than a lot of other social medias in that you're not even allowed to have an opinion that's slightly out of the norm because those fucking sheep will just start blaring out and go out of their way to kick you out of their bubble. And this level of censorship will only lead to more extremism as the subreddits quickly just start devolving into more and more extreme ideologies. And of course, it will lead to stagnancy, which is, of course, where we get to how stagnant Reddit is. Now, Reddit is ludicrously stagnant. I don't think any other social media will be as stagnant and unmovable as Reddit. We got to the point where fucking Twitter is constantly changing in its opinion and what it likes day in, day out, constantly a new thing. Twitter is constantly changing. It's constantly changing. But Reddit's not fucking changing at all. They've been using the same fucking memes, the same things they find funny, the same politics, the same fucking sexual degeneracy, the same shitty humor, the same consuming, all of it. It just keeps fucking going. It's the same stagnancy over and over and over again. Nothing is changing. And that's what makes it so toxic as well. It's what makes it so toxic with this kind of censorship and this level of stagnancy. It just becomes a fucking toxic shithole. This shit makes the Chernobyl elephant foot look weak in comparison. This shit makes Twitter look weak because at least it's not as bad as Twitter. It's not as bad as Twitter where like if you say something Twitter people don't like, they'll fucking dox you, they'll harass you, they'll send death threats to your family, that kind of shit. But that's because they can't censor you personally. On Reddit, it's different. They don't fucking harass and attack you with it. That's because they have different means of silencing you. That's because they don't just threaten you. They just silence you right there and then. Reddit is toxic because all these subreddits are these different little bubbles of opinions. Alright? And you have this amount of censorship, this amount of stagnancy, this constant feeling of superiority. Because, well, all the people are all saying the same thing, so it must be right. And then someone else comes in and says something completely different. And then everyone throws their fucking arms in the air and goes completely insane and kicks them out as soon as fucking possible. Because how dare you say something that's outside of the norm? Because I'm right and you're not. It is just so fucking toxic. I mean, sure, they're not going to make it as clear as Twitter that they're a toxic shithole, but I'm more than willing to say that they're just as toxic. It's just that they have different means of silencing you than Twitter. And that leads to the real conclusion here. That just leaves us with the question: is Reddit truly the worst social media of them all? I mean, sure, fucking TikTok is basically just fucking heroin for kids, digital heroin for kids. Twitter is, of course, about as childish as politics and debate will ever get when grown-ups have a childish rant. Fucking YouTube, of course, being a piece of shit. Twitch being incompetent and just straight up stupid. Me not giving a flying fuck about Instagram or Snapchat. Facebook. Well, I mean, again, we all know that Facebook is just Facebook. We all know that Zuck has a few issues in his head. All that, we all know. That's all fucking shit. We all know Discord is full of fucking pedophiles and groomers. We all fucking know that Snapchat's a fucking piece of shit that no one cares about. We all know that WhatsApp has been bought by Facebook and all of its privacy is now out the fucking window. We all know. But Reddit? Reddit's fucking worse. Right? The constant consuming of mass-produced media and constantly having to go out of your way to make your overexcitement for some fucking video game that's been out for how many years now, making it everyone else's fucking problem, and fucking going out of your way to be so fucking toxic about it. How dare you pick vanilla ice cream over chocolate? You must be a beta soy cuck. Oh wait, yeah, that's where we get back to New Vegas. Because that's something else they constantly use as well. You know, you'll have some fucking Reddit fag calling you a cringe, soy-pilled beta cuck male virgin for liking the NCR, which is ironic for a redditor to be saying all those things. I mean, imagine unironically using pack signs like fucking alpha and beta. You're not a fucking wolf. You're a human. Stop it. But they take their fucking media consumption way too fucking seriously as well. And then of course there's also the sexual degeneracy of Reddit. The fact that you could probably very easily find CP, pizza, fucking child pizza, very easily. You could find incest, rape, gore, piss, scat, whatever the fuck, fucked up shit you could possibly imagine. You would find on Rule 34. You could fucking find it on Reddit. All right, this shit's almost as easy as Rule 34 in terms of getting to all these disgusting fetishes. And then we have the fucking upvotes in how much of an addicting drug it has for one fucking reason or another become to the Redditors. How much of a disgusting mess this entire shit show has become because of this alone. Say what you want about fucking 4chan or Twitter or shit like that. At least they don't. At least 4chan doesn't have fucking upvotes. At least they're not addicted to upvotes like it's fucking crack cocaine. And then, of course, the fucking Reddit moderators being the greasy, disgusting fat tubs of fucking lard that they are, being glued to their chair basically, and just being the absolute epitome of sloth and genuine filth, like, and just being petty and disgusting. And then, of course, the r slash hate for landlords, r slash drug, like drug subreddits, r slash atheists. Only a few examples of just sheer fucking retardation. There's plenty of other subreddits that are even worse. Well, I mean, you can't get much worse than r slash atheism, but you know, the other two. They can get so much fucking worse than this shit. And then you have the fucking biased politics. You can't talk about Trump in a negative. You can't talk. Well, you can only talk about Trump in a negative way. I was gonna say, you can only talk about Trump in a negative way. If you talk any other way about Trump, you getting your ass blocked. You talk about anything else that isn't left-leaning politics, you get the fuck out. And now, don't get me fucking wrong. I don't hate left-leaning politics. I don't fucking hate them. You know, as long as you don't make it my as long as you do not make that shit my problem, I'm not going to make it your problem either. As long as you do not go out of your way to make your political stance anyone else's problem, then who gives a shit? But that's the fucking thing. They have to make it everyone else's problem all the fucking time. And you can't fucking say anything right-leaning on Reddit. You can't make your own subreddit for right-leaning politics because then they'll just go, ugh, well, I guess we just gotta spam a whole lot of nasty racist shit on there so we can get them banned. Shit like that. And then, of course, we have the censorship. Pretty self-explanatory. Can't say anything outside the norm because then you get your ass clapped by the Reddit fags. And then, of course, you got just the stagnant, toxic fucking shit that Reddit is constantly in. Again, say what you want about all those other social medias. At least they change. At least they constantly change. At least they're constantly adapting to new memes and new fucking methods and new ideas. Even if it takes a while, at least they change. But Reddit never fucking changes. Reddit has been following the same circle over and 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 over again. It's been the same fucking shit since day one. There has been a time, of course, where Reddit was actually pretty good. But those days are long fucking gone. Long past into the wind. That's long gone. What we have now is this shit, this heaping pile of shit. And all the shit I talked about right now, this is merely scratching the surface of the kind of degenerate, vile, toxic, stagnant shit there is on Reddit. It gets far deeper than this. I don't think I need to tell you. Reddit is the absolute worst. It literally cannot get worse than Reddit. I don't care what you say about TikTok or fucking Twitter on how it's toxic. It's this, it's that. It's got pedophiles. It's got porn. It's got fucking toxic users. Who cares? It's nothing compared to Reddit. This shit is true toxicity. Now, of course, I don't think they're ever gonna fucking change. They're not gonna change. Sure, there are subreddits that are actually pretty nice, and I guess, God forbid, wholesome. But so many of them are just. And to this, I leave with a note. If you have a Reddit account, that's fine. But please, don't be like these degenerate, toxic, vile creatures, I guess. I don't even know if I can call this shit human anymore, because just look at this shit. Just look at this kind of shit that they post, that they censor, that just everything. I advise you to either just delete your Reddit account or just not engage in terms of talking with people. Like, just maybe watch from afar if you really still want to use Reddit. But the best solution is just to go to a different fucking social media. Just go to a different social media. They will all probably have talk about the same thing. You just have to look a little bit harder. It's truly the shit of the internet. It is the sewage pipe of the internet. And I advise you to get the fuck out while you still can. Because the only way Reddit will go is down. Down the endless downward spiral. But with that, the rant must end. It's been a very long rant with a lot of anger management issues. But with it, we simply have to look upon Reddit and simply realize how shit it is. There's nothing we can do about it. As the very moderators, hell, even the very company itself is unflinching in how they want this shit to be. And trust me, it's not looking good. But at least we have one method, one way we can still show them how much we fucking hate them. And that is by just leaving. Just leave. Leave Reddit and never come back. Not in a million years. I fucking beg you. But with that, we gotta call it an end because this shit's been taking a while. With all that, see y'all, and hopefully I won't get fucking doxxed, harassed, and then have a pipe bomb mailed to me by some Reddit fag. Remember, unsubscribe, dislike, turn off notifications, fucking send hate comments telling me to kill myself and dip my balls in sulfuric acid. Please. Alright, bye bye.